2. We should be good. Should be coming online now. Yep, we good. All right, 2. Mic on. All right, mic is hot. Here we go. We should be good. Y'all can hear me, right? Ooh, wait, I don't even see chat. Hold up. Let me grab chat real quick. Okay, there go chat. There we go. There we go. Okay. Y'all in here? Y'all in here? Wanted to go live earlier, but I had to do something. But I appreciate y'all being here with me. OCO, y'all, how y'all doing?
OCO, free thinkers.
We in here? Quick mic check. Yeah, cause hold up. We good? Okay. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Osikachu. I'm doing well. Hope all of you all are doing well. Hold up. Okay. I don't know why that's not popping up. Hold up, wait a minute, y'all. I gotta make sure. I had to close something out and open it back up. My notifications wasn't loading properly. Okay, there we go. There you go. Now my notifications is good. Okay, yeah, we in here. Yeah, I got a lot of new subscribers too. I appreciate that. OCO Johnny, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Nightbot, you late. Yeah. Hold up. Y'all know, some of y'all may know this already, but I'm receiving multiple text messages, but I don't know why everybody my phone blowing up as soon as I go live. Hold up. Damn, this is important though. Okay. Yeah, I know if it wasn't important, I would be ignoring it, but that was important. So we in here now. I had to take care of that. Let me go ahead and pull that train out, the Niji appreciation train. Now what we can do, we could go ahead and do the shout outs right now. I'm trying to grab my beat that okay, here you go. Yeah. Hold on, before I play that one, y'all can spam it up though. Y'all can spam up the chat right now. We can get it turned up real quick. It doesn't matter. You could, drop whatever type of emojis you want to, drop in there to show support, to show love. It could be hearts, it could be feathers. You know what I mean? Well, anyone, fire emojis. Let's turn up. Come on, y'all, let's get it. Turn up. Keep spamming emojis and flatten the chat. Alright, let's get it. I'm about to do my shout outs. You know what I'm doing.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
OCO, free thinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
It's go time, Slim.
He's here to make you think.
I will not be debating Dane Calloway.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said, let him cook.
Look at that Indian right there. Look at this Indian.
That's my joke, though.
Look at that Indian right there. Look at this Indian.
Relax and take notes. Take notes. Ruler. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
You are watching a master at work.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes. It's Dane Calloway.
Yeah. What we got in the building? VA to Detroit. Oh, y'all. Nah. What happened earlier was private. I gotta keep that private. It's all good though. Everything good. Chicago, what's going on? Mississippi in the building. Minnesota in the building. Louisiana in the building. Minnesota in the building. Chi-Town, what up? Chicago in the building. Duval in the building. Connecticut in the building. Birmingham, Alabama, what's good? South Jersey, what up? Little Rock, Arkansas, what up? Nashville, Tennessee, what up? Hey, Nevada, what's going on? There go Georgia, what up, Georgia? North Dakota in the building. Oh man, I wonder, y'all probably cold as hell. Wait, you know what? Hey, are y'all still snowed in? Cause then y'all get the blizzard. I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't gonna run. Hold up. What did East Coast? Y'all still snowed in? Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, DC, holla at me. New York, y'all still snowed in? Yeah, huh? I'm not about to rub it in. I promise. I'm not gonna do that. You know, I ain't gonna do that. How many feet did y'all get? Y'all all right out there? Little Rock, what's good? Tampa, Florida in the building. Columbus. Oh, Columbia, South Carolina in the building. Oh, y'all back to work tomorrow? That's crazy. That's how they feel? Southeast DC in the building. Nah, no sample. This don't got no sample in this beat. No sample. I do got beats with samples, but this one don't. This straight fire. Baltimore in the building, Florida in the building, Illinois in the building, Naptown in the building, Phoenix in the building, Ohio in the building, PG County in the building. What up? H-Town in the building. What up, Houston? What up, Texas? Hub City in the building. Southern Maryland in the building. What up, Maryland? Cincinnati, Ohio. Cali in the building. What up, California? How y'all doing? Dallas in the building. What up, Dallas, Texas? Chesapeake, VA. What up, Virginia? Springfield, Massachusetts. Wilmington, Delaware in the building. Birmingham in the building. Kansas City, Missouri in the building. Florida in the building. Detroit in the building. Dayton, Ohio in the building. South Carolina in the building. What's good? Portsmouth, VA. East Oakland in the building. What's good? Frogtown, Ohio. You said Fiji Island? I appreciate that. I appreciate that love for sure. What up, Boston? What up, Philly? What up, VA Beach? Virginia Beach in the building. Brooklyn in the Brooklyn in the building. West Virginia, okay. West Virginia in the building. What up, West Virginia? DC in the building. I see you. I'm so DC. It's my initials. You understand me? Southwest Detroit in the building. Look, sometimes some people be getting in the comments, be like, Dane, you sound like a DJ. Nah, not when I don't have the echo on. Now, when I got the echo on, DMV home up a Houghton, you already know what time it is. North Carolina, what up? Indianapolis, what up? Richmond, Cali, what up? I see you. Oh, hey, what up, Memphis? Man. Dane County in the building. Yeah, I forgot I had the echo, huh? Yeah. I'm gonna give y'all a round of applause. What up, Bahamas? Jackson, Mississippi, South Carolina in the house. West Side Chicago, what it do? What it do? What is this? Huh? Wait. What happened? What's this? I ain't about to start DJing. We about to have a live stream. Amsterdam, New York, what up? New Orleans, what's good? California in the building, Rhode Island in the building. Yeah, I switched beats by mistake. This don't go though. This. Hey. I'ma leave it alone though. What up, Detroit? St. Louis, Missouri. Fifth Ward, H-Town in the building. I'ma freestyle one day, but I gotta wait till I'm on camera. Hartford, Connecticut. Bring that beat back in real quick. Hey. That ain't go. What up, Pittsburgh? Look. Tennessee in the building. I see you. Come on, look. All right, look. I'm about to stop it right there. Let me cut that echo off real quick. Just look. I want to get into a serious matter. And I know this beat kind of... I'm a little fade. But I want to get into a serious matter here, man, because we got some stuff to talk about. I want to, hold on, let me move to the screen real quick. Nah, because look, okay, so check this out, right? And I appreciate you all being here for sure, absolutely. I don't even know what music I want to play in the background just yet. I'll probably just vibe out and just talk for right now. But by the way, y'all know Resident Evil getting ready to come out in 2 days, and I'm gonna be live streaming that. Just for the folk out there, fair warning. If you scared, say you scared, But it's a lot of talk going on amongst our community about this particular topic right here. And I didn't get a chance to, hold on, I'm moving the video over now. I didn't get a chance to look at it. But a lot of people sent it to me. And I already kind of know what it is based off of what people were telling me, like when they were giving me, a heads up of what it was about. So I'm going to be covering this topic. I feel as though it's essential because the Niji, I feel as though we're under attack by a lot of these distractions, constant distractions. And they're orchestrated. Some of them are even orchestrated by our very own people, unfortunately. And they're set up to, or the distractions are set up to divert us from our focus on the truth and what actually happened in this country. This is why it's so important to know your actual history. Okay? Because these distractions are set in place and have been in place to manipulate our people's minds into believing that they are some group of people that have never existed in this country. And I realize that what I just said could be considered a bold statement. But I mean, let's be real here. There's no other way to tell the truth about something unless you decide that the watered down version of the truth fits you a lot better. And look, I'm not knocking you. That's fine. That's your choice. I ain't got no issues with that. But at least you trying to know the truth. I'll give you that. And that's what counts in the long run, especially in my book. Now, even though many people would claim to know the truth is not meant for everybody because everybody cannot handle what the truth shares. Some people, or let me just say most people tend to claim to know the truth. They either have no idea what the truth means or they're hiding their true intentions behind their role-playing gimmicks. Okay? And look, they may even be on the payrolls of employers that hire people to play roles of distractors. I'm the complete, total opposite of those people. I have clearly stated my agenda over and over and over. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. And I give people a fresh reminder each and every time I go live or I post a educational video or vlog or podcast or documentary, and even at the conclusions of them. Every single time, what I say? I say, I'm just here to make people think, right? I'm just here to make you think. I'm here to make people think for themselves again by providing an enlightening light to help them see the truth hidden in the darkest corners of the commonly known entertainment lies. Or should I say entertaining lies? Because that's what is going on. Speaking of lies, our people have been inadvertently promoting quite a few campaigns with deceitful political origins dating back from the 1960s to now. Now, of course, in my previous videos, I shared numerous amounts of evidence or detailed information about the introduction and the cultivation of the term black. Now, I know some of y'all gonna be like, what? Wow, here he go. Yeah, this is why. Well, okay, I told you why it was used and how it was being used as a political construct. Only for people with colored complexions who were taught a stranger's lies in American schools as students or children, beginning in the 1960s, late 1950s, early 1960s for sure. So I want to go over some of these things that I'm hearing, like this one right here. Y'all know what I'm about to go into. The modern versions of these same political constructs. Their supporting stories and their co-conspirators, they still suffer from a wide range of foreign ideologies and political views and deceitful information. For example, these two that I'm about to point out right now, like political organizations, both of them are rooted in deceitful, Pan-African centered misinformation. And y'all seen it too, where they attacked me out of nowhere. They attacked me on numerous occasions because of how I presented or had presented and still continue to present the facts of truth concerning our actual history here in America, while also proving that the slave trade story that was given to us by way of compulsory education stemming from the early 1900s was told to us all in reverse, while simultaneously proving that slavery in America did not happen the way the anonymous writers of American history claim. Now, the identical political organizations, they affirm themselves by abbreviations. One of them was ADOS. They started the first one, right? American Descendants of Slavery. And now here recently it was FBA. They call themselves Foundational Black Americans, right? Both would campaign the same argument about reparations in order to gain popularity. Because who doesn't want more money? But also they both campaign the same historical narrative. With the small exception of FBA, they still using, I would say, half of my information that I have solely presented over the years, because I hear it. And, you know, in order to prove that we are American Indians who are indigenous to this land, North America. But however, the so-called founder of FBA, it's not even an organization, it's just a hashtag, is comedian Tariq Nasheed. He a comedian. Now, he still believes that the indigenous people of America, American Indians who were misclassified over and over and over as, let's just skip the line, go down the line, Black Americans. He believes that they are somehow Africans, in which the founders of ADOS, like the wannabe politician Yvette Carnell, she stated that she and her associates believe the same story. They claiming that American descendants that they were referring to are of African slaves. And by the way, don't remove anybody in the chat that has never heard me mention any of this before and present the hard evidence on screen. If they want to act like a crybaby, leave them in here. Let them cry inside of the chat. Please let them cry. Because they big man.
You wanna argue. You mad. Look at you. You mad. You big mad.
You know why? They mad because both of these fools are campaigning Pan-Africanism 2.0. They mad at Umar, but they are actually doing the exact same things as Umar. They're Pan-Africanism 2.0. And they are single-handedly contradicting themselves by trying so badly to separate themselves from foreigners. Listen, but yet they want to hold on for dear life to the story that foreigners gave them, you know, that story, which includes foreigners as slaves in America by way of the so-called slave ships, and I'm putting that in quotes, from whatever part of Africa the anonymous writers forgot to mention to you when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade. Notice how none of them know what part of Africa their family's from. Now, since I provided evidence within my previous works, hard evidence at that slavery did not happen the way that we were all told, and that the transatlantic slave trade only exists by way of the use of your imagination. Listen, not the Middle Passage, the transatlantic. Notice how I tell you they always change the stories once they change the name. I have a book out on this called The Untold Truth about the transatlantic slave trade. The name of that book is called It Was Told in Reverse. All of my stuff is out. I'm not making nothing up. The transatlantic slave trade only exists by way of the use of your imagination. You know why? Because no records exist proving that it did in fact happen otherwise. All you got is a website. I also displayed hard evidence concerning who actually authored and cultivated that story. Didn't I? And why their deceitful political agenda to use that story against our people was so they could mentally remove us all from our true motherland, right here in America. Right here in America. So I want to call them comedians. So the two comedians that I just mentioned, and their tag-along co-conspirators, some of them probably in the chat, decide to slander my name in hopes that people won't eventually listen to me. That's what's been happening over the years. So they could continue to distract our people from knowing the absolute truth about what really happened here in America. And more importantly, what happened to their own individual families. So you know what they do, right? Go to their channel, guaranteed this is what they doing. They pick up on trending topics. Every single, look at their videos. It's a reason why, y'all. They're going to pick up on trending topics and share their take, hoping people would give them credibility based on their talking points alone. I'm going to say this again. They will pick up on trending topics and share their take, hoping people would give them credibility based on their talking points alone. No work, no research, no traveling, no discovering, no even writing, nothing but just all talk. I got the right to say this. You know why? Because I did the total opposite. I did the work, I did the research, I did the traveling, I did the discovering, and even the writing. And I talk. That's just a fact. So when these comedians were asked to actually let go of their egos and work with some real historians and researchers who have and continue to put in the real work, for real, they'll throw their hands up in submission form. You know why? Because they can't risk losing their crowds. After their crowds began to think for themselves again, they can't do that. That's why. Now, even if you look at today's narrative concerning American history, which I'm totally against their glorified fairy tales, of course, the anonymous writers of American history originally claimed what? That 12.5 million enslaved Africans were somehow captured and then immediately transported to the Americas, meaning North, Central, and South America. And then he turned around and said, but only 3 to 5% of this total made it to North America. And that's according to their own unproven claims. Now, that should raise a red flag for you right there. Because not all of you will be owed reparations. Listen, and I don't care how they would try to twist the narrative. Not everybody is going to get reparations out of that. And it shouldn't be a money thing in order for you to go research some information on your family's background. Let me tell you something. The problem with calling yourself a descendant of an African slave, when you do that, when you state that you're a descendant of an African slave, do you know you are inadvertently deeming yourself as an immigrant to this country? What do you mean, Dane? There are two types of immigrants, and I even teach this in my book. There are immigrants spelled with the letter E, E-M-I-G-R-A-N-T-S. This is unpopular. It's uncommon, but this is true. So immigrants with the E are people who are moving from one region of a country to live in another region of that same country, meaning that they do not move from continent to continent. And they are immigrants who are people that moves from one continent to an entirely different continent. It's not that. So if you was to pick up a book and start reading, like the American English Dictionary by Noah Webster, especially the one dated in 1828, that dictionary, the word immigrant with an I, I-M, M-I-G-R-A-N-T, it states that a person that removes Listen, a person that removes into a country for the purpose of permanent residence. So if you take a closer look at that definition, you will realize the word removes is used in this sense to mean confiscate. And what does that mean? To take, to seize, like seize someone else's property, right? So since you know that, then you will read the definition as a person who takes a country for the purpose of permanent residence. That's how you will read it. You will read that definition for what it is. A person who takes a country for the purpose of permanent residence. That's an immigrant. What is a resident? A citizen of a country? Look, not a continent. Listen, a resident is a citizen of a country, not a continent. A citizen is a resident who was held in transient status. Transient status, and y'all heard me go over this before. Chat could probably tell you. Transient status means a person who has no permanent place to live, a squatter who visits an area in hopes for permanent residency. Or a permanent country to live in. I'm going to let that sink in. So now that we're clear on what an immigrant is, now you got to ask some questions. Why are there no random ID checks and nationality investigations done on white immigrants? Should all white immigrants be considered Americans? Look, because you know that's what they're doing, right? And look, why is the term European American not used? They say that we came from Africa, so we African Americans. But they said they came from Europe, but they American? Why is the term European American not used? See, some followers of opinionated history claim that African Americans are citizens. But what law makes that possible? Because I read the 13th or 14th Amendment over and over and over and over and on this channel, by the way. And do you know there are absolutely no rules or laws that exist that clearly state that African Americans or blacks have any rights or privileges in this country? So wouldn't that make African Americans undocumented immigrants? Listen to what they did to you. So you're fine with allowing strangers to misclassify you as an undocumented immigrant from another continent, right? Where in that continent did your grandparents or great-grandparents mention that your family is from? They always tell, don't be listening to your grandparents. Your elders of your family will be able to recall where they are from, and even parts of your family's history, if not all of it. That stuff gets passed down. This is why those genealogy DNA tests, not to be confused with paternal DNA tests, they wouldn't dare to ask for your family's permission to dig up your deceased ancestors in order to collect direct data from a primary source. They're not going to do that. So the question remains, why are we being called African Americans if we were born in America? Clearly, our bloodline is from America. Clearly. Isn't that a clear indication that these titles are nothing more than misnomers? Right? And then too many people out there get stuck on the idea that a genealogy test can tell them accurate information about their entire historical genetic makeup, when clearly these scientists are not digging up everyone's ancestors' graves to really tell the consumer the truth about their background. And you know how critical that is? Plus, don't forget, you got to have historical records of documentation to back it up. And don't get me wrong, yeah, you have the right to claim yourself whatever you want, but it doesn't necessarily make it true unless you have records of documentation to back up your individual claims. That's just how it is. I can't sit up here and claim I'm American Indian without me having records to back it up. Neither could you. Look, and the same thing goes for you being an African. If you think you're African, if you ain't got no evidence, I'm talking about records of documentation to prove that, you're lying to yourself. I mean, wouldn't you want to prove it to yourself rather than have a stranger tell you who you actually are? I'm sure you do. Now, some scientists, pseudo-scientists, and pseudo-self-proclaimed scholars would say that the out of Africa theory is true. I debunked that numerous times, but I'm going to state this. But if everybody came from Africa, then the terms Asian African American, Latino African American, and European African American would exist, but they don't. Why not? If everybody came from Africa now, we would see Asian African American, Latino African American, and European African American. They don't exist. What clear-cut evidence exists that proves our elders wrong about who their people are and where they were? They're going to pause right there. See, these same leaders don't have no evidence. They don't never present any documentation. They just ride off the coattails of trending topics. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And why is it that African Americans are the only ones who exist in history that has absolutely no idea about who they really are? They want to be Moors. They want to be Hebrew Israelites. They want to be pan-goofies. Now they want to be hashtags and abbreviations. See there? Again, we were misclassified and reclassified over and over and over and over. And look, and you can't use slavery as an excuse either. Don't use slavery as an excuse, because everybody was a slave if you use that term in its proper context. They don't like when I state that. See, how can everyone else who was a slave in different areas of the world recall their family's actual history, but our people can't? So my question to you is, why are you not researching your family's history using records of documentation that exists? Why are you concurring with complete strangers about your people's history when those same people who wrote your history didn't live in America to be able to tell you exactly what happened here in America in the first place? And I know I said that before. You are agreeing with complete strangers about your people's history. And those are the same people who wrote history that didn't live here in America to be able to tell you exactly what happened here. So what happened in history that allowed our people to fall so far behind? And I'm going to tell you. It was the unfortunate mistakes made by our very own people. And it is still ongoing in exactly the same way today. To have true freedom, you must regain control of your mindset. You can control your own mindset, then you can control your own life and make it better the way you want it to be. Our ancestors were knowledgeable about becoming one with themselves because they were spiritual people. So stop labeling yourself whatever these strangers want to call you. Stop labeling yourselves as African descendants of slaves when you have not conducted research, because you're being lazy, on your individual family's genealogical background through records. Stop letting strangers tell you who you are. So I'm getting ready to play this video. This is going to be my first time hearing it. Now, of course, people gave me a brief synopsis of what he was talking about here. But I went on ahead and pulled it over.
The growing understanding.
And I'm a check and see. I'm a let it play.
The growing understanding of a movement called FBA.
Okay.
Pan-Africanism and FBA. Mm-hmm. How do they contrast or complement one another?
Okay. Well, first of all, Pan-Africanism is the black man's oldest formal political ideology. We gave birth to the first free, independent black nation in the world, Haiti, right? Pan-Africanists are...
He came out the gate lying. Let me make sure the audio was good. Y'all can hear everything, right? We good? Everything was coming out clear? Yeah, we good? Loud and clear? Let me know. Drop loud and clear if everything was loud and clear. Why it looked like we being delayed. Oh, wait a minute. That's Umar. He had a confession.
I will not be debating Dane Calloway.
Need I remind you? He don't want no smoke with me for real. It's not a game.
Some of your greatest black leaders, your greatest black organizers. If you're looking at achievements, nobody compares to Pan-Africanists. Nobody. Hebrews, Moors, Nawapians, Gods and Earths, Nation of Islam. I love them all. Nobody compares to Pan-Africanism. If you want to go achievement for achievement, you can put all them together. You don't touch us. Okay? And I say that respectfully, but it's the truth. Okay.
Who is us? Who is us? Show me some literature that the Pan-Goofies ever put out to teach Pan-Africanism. That's your ideology. Where's the literature? Your school never opened up. You never signed up any teachers, none of that. Your credibility is gone when it comes to teaching. You can share your opinion. You could try to make it sound good and doctor it up by way of your personality traits. But again, that still don't make what you state the truth. It doesn't mean that you're right and exact. It means that you're ignorant to what happened here in America. And I want you to notice a pattern. This is a common pattern. Watch this, y'all. And I'm going to call it. This is for all of them that I just mentioned. That Tariq boy, Yvette Carnell, and Umar. All of them are going to try to direct your attention away from America. It never fails. excuse me, the reason why is because they have no idea about what happened here in America. If they did, they're going to give you surface level information, the information that they learned in their compulsory educational institutions. Surface level. They're not going to go back further. He can't tell you about his tribe. But okay, hold on. Let me keep going. Because I'm gonna explain that. I'm gonna keep going because he always it never fails. He always shoots himself in the foot, and I'm calling it right now.
ADOSFBA. Respectfully, I'm going to go with both groups because they represent basically the same thing, but there are differences, right? So ADOS,
which is a descendant of slavery.
No, they're first. FBA comes later.
Okay.
Okay, but they both exist. FBA is more popular, right?
Okay.
ADOSFBA. I don't have a problem with the American African people seeing the need to make it clear to other branches of the global African family that when you come here, you need to be clear that we built the house and rolled out the carpet for you.
Excuse me. Africans weren't here until the top of the 1900s in a large mass. They came way later. I put that up. So the evidence of that. Can't nobody debunk that. Matter of fact, I put it inside of a video directed to him that I know he saw because he had to respond. And what was his response, y'all? As soon as I put that video up, it was over 100K, right? Well, something, 200K, something like that. And what'd he say?
I will not be debating Dane Calloway.
Am I lying?
Calloway.
Chat, am I lying? I put it up. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to tell the truth, then tell the truth. Don't beat around the bush.
Be respectful in my home the same way you would want for me to be respectful in your home.
Wait a minute. So now you calling America your home? Listen to watch his wordplay. Watch how he trip up on himself. Watch
that
this.
American African identity. I have no issue with it. It needs to be done. It needs to be said. This is not new. What is new about it is the adversarial stance that they are taking towards African immigrants who come here from the diaspora, and the energy that they give them, the negative energy that they give them, which supersedes the negative energy you give to the white man who enslaved you then and oppresses you now. There's nothing a continental African immigrant can do to me that can supersede what the white man has done to me. There's nothing a Caribbean, Central South American African immigrant can do to me that can exceed what the white man has done to me. So why is it I can have so much vitriol, hatred, disrespect, animosity towards someone who looks like me just because they came from another place?
Now, this is where he's making his mistake. There are people that look like us, and I just got finished explaining that are doing the exact same thing as what he will call the oppressors. Colonizers never had one set skin complexion. Colonizers never had one set skin complexion. You can't put it all on just one group of people. Like, I won't ever do that. Even with American Indians, it was other Indian tribes that sold out other Indian tribes to the enemy. And, well, in their favor, in the enemy's favor. So I won't ever state that. So he's inaccurate right there with his assessment.
When the white man who's responsible for my hell here, I'm never giving him half that energy.
Look, we look how we easily roll that off the tongue. We always blame it on a white man, right? And I agree. I'm not saying that, some white folks ain't get it, but they had help. They couldn't do it by themselves. Seriously, y'all making these white folk like they God's gift to earth. Y'all giving them way too much credit. You really think they did all that by themselves? And they didn't even have a major population at that time of their own people. You're talking about people coming from a boat to a large landmass that they never visited before, and they were easily able to conquer that land? No, that's not how it worked. Things take time and people had to get involved. Just like how they be paying off our people right now to lead us astray. And he's a prime example. The same thing they doing to us right now, they were doing back then. Here, I'm going to give you some gold, but I just need you to tell your brothers and sisters down there to back up now so we could come on through. Yeah, we got sellouts. It's sellouts in all races. We can't just single the white man out and say he should be the only one responsible. Think about that. Do we have only white people running the government right now? Was there only so-called white people running the government, even back when it was considered the Continental Congress days? Not to be confused with the Department of War now, but the War Department back then. It was always immigrants. Always. Even our own people were involved in the government. Still to this day. So again, you can't just single out one race when everybody should be held accountable and responsible. And responsible.
And then on top of that, it's contradictory in this way.
Right after that.
Still identify with the white man.
Huh?
You are a black American? Since when? So you'll call yourself an American, but you'll never call yourself an African. Think about that now.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's how you could tell who your enemies are. Anybody that wants you to detach your mindset away from your motherland is your enemy.
After all I've been through in this country, I'm still going to wave their flag. After all I've been through in this country, I'm still going to use their colors.
Listen.
After everything I've been through in this country, I'm still going to identify with the plantation and call myself an American. So I don't have an issue with the concept. I take issue with the strategies and
what about if someone is...
This is... seriously? He's being even more disrespectful than some of those immigrants that be online that be trying to combat us, or, try to, whatever they want to say, they cry babies. He's just like them. Isn't he Cuban anyway? Yeah, he called America the plantation. He want your mind off of America. Wow, that's the only way that his ideology will win. That's the only way that his ideology will have any merit in this discussion. He's losing. You were literally listening to a person that's admitting defeat. Pan-Africanism is dead, been dead. Now they're converting to Pan-Africanism 2.0. He's still on the one that came in the 1960s. Or should I say that was popularized in the 1960s?
Identify with the plantation and call myself an American. So I don't have an issue with the concept. I take issue with the strategies and
what about if someone is saying that, all right, we look at anyone that is putting in our place and getting access to resources that belong to us because they built their core wealth off coerced labor from our people, but you can come in as an African, as a quote unquote immigrant and get certain access to things that maybe the foundational Black Americans, what they call themselves, believe that, that's our stuff. And so I don't look at the African any different than I look at any other, ethnic group that comes over and tries to take that place.
If that's the case. Where is your campaign against the Latinos? Because I don't see it.
Ho. There's the enemy. He said, if that's the case, and everybody in that's watching, not only just in the chat, even the ones that's watching this, like, y'all know for a fact that the immigrants are immediately met with benefits as soon as they get here. Even more benefits than what our people have been receiving over these years that we allegedly fought for, and we thought that we got it, right? Our people still don't know what classification of race they fall under. What I mean by that is what class. Was it first class, second class, or third class? While we was fighting for first class citizenship in the 1960s during the so-called civil rights movement. You don't even know what class you're falling up under. And you mean to tell me that he had the nerve to say, if that's happening? He's ignorant to what's going on. He's ignorant to the history of America. He's telling on himself.
Where's your campaign against the Caucasian immigrants? I don't see it. Where's your campaign against the South Asian and North Asian immigrants? I don't see it.
But see, so let's, what I think.
Well, I mean, if you listen closely, technically, that's what FBA and ADOS are doing. I mean, even I could admit that. Not saying that they're campaigning against them directly. They're campaigning against the people who are against them, which is fine. I'm in agreement with that. I feel as though I'm only going to dislike the individuals that dislike me. I'm not going to associate myself with people who don't have my best interests or my people's best interests, or rather both. There's nothing wrong with being prejudiced, meaning that you have love for your people and you only uplift your own people. That's fine. The issue is racism, meaning that you got love for your people and you hate all other people. That's the spinoff that people are doing right now with FBA. I didn't see too much of that with ADOS, but I see a lot of that with FBA. That's a division tactic that I disagree with. Because you can't, again, just like you can't blame all white folk for everything, you can't blame all immigrants for everything. You got to take accountability for your own mistakes. Let's be real here.
I think fragmented everything is the reparation talk. And so I think the reparation talk, a lot of the foundational, and I'm, I could be speaking out of school, but my limited understanding of it is, I think that they believe that the reparations belong to descendants of slaves.
Well, I'm going to say this as a Pan-Africanist, because we invented the reparations fight.
No, you didn't. Look at the lie. Look at the line. But again, I feel as though the ADOS and FBA are, clinging on to the reparations argument because it's convenient for them. That's how they gain popularity. Everybody wants money. Like I said earlier, everybody wants money. Of course, they're going to, they want to tag along with that. And I told you each and every time they do that, they make all sorts of promises that they don't never keep. And now it's to the point where they don't even make promises to you. They just act like you could, relate to them, like they're in your shoes. That's what they're doing. Meanwhile, he in the big old house getting bread off of you. Donations and everything. I'm sure you done bought the flag. You done, punched in the hashtag a whole bunch of times. What you get out of that? Other than some social media presence. What do you get out of that? Do you know your people's history? Do you know exactly what happened to your history? No, we gotta wait till his next documentary, Dane. Stop, wait. He been doing this before you. I have over 600 videos on my channel. What's his excuse? I'll wait. Toasty. Okay.
Don't come from FBA. It don't come from ADOS. This was around before they were born. You feel me? Yes. Pan-Africanists gave birth to.
No, I don't feel you. Pan-Africanism never started a reparations movement. What is he talking about?
Reparations for me is not about different groups and sects of the race fighting for their crumb off the big pie. This should be one fight, one reparation. Do you feel me, Loon? We can split it up.
Stop. No, we can split it up. No. Everybody got theirs. We didn't get ours. This is your enemy talking. Look at him. He wants you to get involved with everybody that already received their reparations, just so we could get some.
How we want to split it up after we
split it up. Listen, hold on, go back. Let me
for me.
Let me play it again.
Different groups and sects of the race fighting for their crumb off the big pie. This should be one fight, one reparation. Do you feel me, Loon? We can split it up how we want to split it up after we get it.
Sit your punk ass down. That old bullshit.
Seriously?
But by you fighting divided for the same restitution, you playing right into the hands of your enemy. There was one slavery, took some of us to the Caribbean. There was one slavery, took some of us to the Americas. There was one slavery, took some of us to Central and South America, right? But there was one African slavery. So that
oh my God, enough!
That's wrong. That's wrong. Look, let me tell you how you can easily debunk this guy. What war took place in Africa for African slaves to be captured and brought all over to these territories that he's mentioning? He's telling you that one slavery happened. That's what he said out of his mouth. And that they went from Africa. That's what he's alluding to, that they went from Africa to other places. What war was this? What war took place in Africa? And then look, what part of Africa? Because Africa that we're referring to is a continent. And the continent consists of many different countries. Just like there's many different countries in America, Central America, South America. What are you talking about? You act like all of Africa was captured and brought to here. That's a task that's impossible. Again, how many foreigners that took the lead and decided to capture and enslave Africans were they? Slavevoyagers.com or .org created some numbers that told you to embark and disembark, but never told you how many leaders it took to do that. Oh, all they needed was one white man, right? And how many workers? Man, why are they not up in the museums, bruh? Who are these super niggas? Huh? Why are they not holding them up high? We're supposed to be knowing them by name. Bro, you mean to tell me they came from Europe? Listen to how this worked. To a totally different landmass that they never been before. With the crew of whatever you want to come up with, how many numbers, they never tell you that. And who led that crew? Who was the person that had the audacity to get that done? You had the balls to go in a territory that you never been to and snatch their people? No retaliation, no nothing? So you trying to say the Africans are cowards? Nah, Dane, they fought back. Okay, so now tell me the name of the war. It go right back to it, don't it? Tell me the name of the war that took place. It's cold in here, ain't it? You better close that window. Tell me the name of that war that took place now. Make sure y'all hit that like button up there. Come on, y'all. All right, here we go.
Africans of the world, from the continent to the British, Canada had slavery, Australia had it, right? We should all come and sit down. Let's fight this together.
See, I think they reject
You
that.
would get it quicker.
What? Listen to him. Let's fight this together. We will get it quicker.
Right? But there was one African slavery. So the Africans of the world, from the continent to the British, Canada had slavery, Australia had it, right? We should all come and sit down. Let's fight this together.
See, I think they reject
You
that.
would get it quicker.
Yeah.
You would get more because guess what? It's a united front.
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
What is he talking about? They didn't even have to unite to get their own reparations, bro. Did the folks in Germany unite with Americans to... Did the folks in Japan unite with Americans to get... All right, man. All right. Y'all still... This is your leader? This is your leader. Come on, bro.
But because we hate each other more than we hate racism, because we hate each other more than we hate racism, I don't want to
Who is
unite with
we?
no black Africans.
Stop talking for us. I love myself. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that love themselves. I look in the mirror and thank God. I thank the creator that I am who I am. I am. What are you talking about?
I don't want to unite with no Caribbeans. And you got Africans saying the same thing. I don't want to unite with no descendants of no slaves, right? I want to fight my own thing. So ECOWAS got their own fight. Black British got their own fight. Canada got their own fight. Black America got their own fight. And it's sectionalized, sectarian.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody communicating with each other.
Listen, stop. Not everybody went through the same form of slavery. Not everybody suffered the same way that our people did. And not everybody is benefiting the same way our people are right now. Because we're not benefiting. That's what the fight is. We're still being mistreated. And this is 2026. We're at the bottom of the totem pole, Umar. Newsflash. Third-class citizen. Just because you rep that you black don't change shit. They still look at you as black. They still look at you as a nigga. They still look at you. You see what I'm saying? And that's for all of those races. You got to understand that there's people coming over here that have a better opportunity to succeed at achieving the American dream than our own people. And we've been here before any of them. And you feel as though we need to come together? Well, I mean, how about we start with our own people first? Can we come together first? No, because we got distractors like you out there. That's still trying to keep our people separated from their own people. How could we go with other people before we even come together first as our own? What? That's what I'm talking about. We got to get our act first. We got to get our act right first. We got to take care of home. No, but you want to put our people's minds on Africa. Yeah, who over in Africa waiting on us to help us? Who in Africa waiting for us to come? Why? Where are there endless videos on YouTube begging for us to come home? Where they at? Where's the government that's over there saying, nah, come on, y'all, come on, nah, the transatlantic slave trade was real, y'all. They done took y'all from over here. What country in Africa stepping up saying that? Come on over here, y'all. We apologize. Every time I visit, our people visit Africa, in certain parts, they getting robbed. They being mistreated. Just the same way as they are out here. To be honest with you, minus the robbing part, but in a way. Because, I mean, again, these folks are coming over here with benefits. They got a totally different line of credit. They have, they have better opportunities for employment. Better opportunities for a higher education. The majority, look, I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of our people are not doctors and nurses, just as an example. When we go to the hospital, yeah, we see Europeans, but the majority of them are foreigners who are doctors and nurses. Am I lying? Especially the doctors. We got to wait for doctor, we can't even pronounce their first and last name to come check you out. They know where the money at. They getting opportunity. And you're going to say, oh, it's because our people are not applying. Our people working as hard as they are. That's a lie that they're stating that our people are lazy. Our people are working as hard as they are. It's just the fact that they're given a better opportunity to succeed with achieving the American dream. That is real. That's discrimination. Systematically. And that's been happening ever since the inception of this government. I've been teaching this on my channel for years. Can't nobody tell me any different. I don't care what their Chat GPT or I've been doing this before Chat GPT existed. I was getting on y'all about Wikipedia back then. Get off of Wikipedia, lazy. You want to do some research? That ain't it. You don't never see no college or university accepting some research paper by a student and all of it is coming directly from Wikipedia? The hell are you talking about? Why you think they sent professors of different universities after me that were up under the pan-goofy paradigm? Don't forget that. I seen one goofball that had the nerve to have a mohawk in his hair. And I looked this fool up. He had a university up under the pan-goofy regime. And he got the nerve to tell you about American history? When that's not even his field of study. That's not something that he mastered here. And neither did Umar. Apparently he has a doctrine in psychology, not African nor American history. So where he learned this from? You don't see him teach a thing, but you could go back on my channel and see me teach everything I know. For some odd reason, he the #1 requested scholar. Scholar at what? No, that's something he came up with. We're going to get to that.
He's going to play his old game of what? Divide and conquer, separate and rule.
That's why I wanted to have a conversation about the FBA and the Pan-Africanism, because that's what's going on. Although I hear when you speak, although you're Pan-Africanist, I hear some of the stuff I hear from foundational Black Americans.
Well,
because
remember,
they're Pan-African 2.0.
Advocating the rights of your unique group. A Pan-Africanist in South Africa can speak up for South Africans and still recognize the greater vision and greater goal of a united race. You see that? So as Pan-Africanists, we don't just focus on the whole. That's the goal, but we also got to take care of our people where we are. But we're the
contradicting.
So I don't have an issue with the contradicting. You said everybody should come together and we should split.
Nah, man.
The American African people having a Black agenda for themselves that they need to carry out. It's only when you start criminalizing and antagonizing other Africans as if they're responsible for the condition you in. Loon, there's only 3 million African immigrants in this country.
And then they get mad. They always tell us that Indians had enslaved freedmen, like freedmen wasn't Indians, right? And then as soon as we prove that Africans were enslaving other Africans, nah, that's just a condition that they were put in. Who was holding up a gun to their head, telling their people that they had to enslave their own people? Always want to bypass that fact.
They are not the group most responsible for siphoning off from your set-asides. Right. You know who that would be? White women, homosexuals, and Latinos, who they rarely ever talk about.
And you know,
and let me also say this, Loon. Let us be honest. What do we know about the psychology of oppression? The victim often imitates the victimizer. The oppressed often imitates the oppressor. What
and you a prime example.
Loon? I don't want to be the most oppressed person. I got to find somebody and put them beneath me so I can look down on them and mistreat them. And it's back and forth between Black Africa and Black America.
That's exactly what you're doing.
A lot of this is victim consciousness. I don't want to be the lowest, so I'm going to victimize and step on the American African. I don't want to be the lowest, so I want to victimize and step on the African immigrant, because in America, we're the lowest. We are the lowest in the social order. I'm not saying we internalize that.
So he recognizes that. Well, I just said that we're still third-class citizens.
Right.
I'm
in the third class.
Saying that's the white agenda.
Yes.
That's not the white agenda. That's not the white agenda. White is a social construct. These people are not literally being classified by way of their skin complexion. They're being classified by their social status, where they fit in this government, how the government aligns themselves with them. Okay, this group of people will be privileged. This group of people will be underprivileged. He doesn't know that. He's not concerned about the history of America. He wants to project. Not only project, he wants to regurgitate surface level information and do it with an act, put on a show, to try to make it seem like he's serious and he mean business. And no, it's a gimmick. You're looking at an actor right here. That's what he's doing. And he's capitalizing off of our people's ignorance. So those same people that he was just describing a few seconds ago, he was referring to himself. Oh, well, since the colonizers did it, I might as well do the exact same thing. Let's take advantage of my people. That's exactly what he did. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's been asking for donations for the school since, if I'm recalling correctly, since 2014. You mean to tell me that you don't have enough money to at least open half of that school yet? It's not even a school. It's just an abandoned building still. Still, after all of these years. He's not for he wants to fatten his own pockets. It's not hard. That's not slander. That's exactly what's happening. That's what's been happening. Over and over and over. He's no different than the so-called leaders of the civil rights movement in the past. There's no difference.
I want to be the lowest. So rather than build myself up, my hospitals, my schools, my banks, my trains, my import-export, you see that? My industry, my own trade market, stock market, rather than build myself up to compete with everybody else, I'm just going to demonize.
But what if it's about,
so I have somebody lower than me, because I want to do to somebody else what the white man been doing to me. And we all have that disease. I'm speaking universally. Every African group in the world, because remember now, I've met them all. They always looking for somebody to put under their foot. If I
He's
can't beat the white
admitting
man,
his
let
agenda.
him join them by having somebody under me too.
So, but if it's about resources and reparations, so if it's about reparations, right, for Americans, descendants of slaves, because I agree with you. I think it shrinks the coalition when we have ADOS and FBA and Pan-Africanism and regular just black people who ain't doing none of that.
Pan-Africanism, our focus is the whole. We're the only philosophy in the world that is inclusive of everybody. Nobody else has that. They want to make you a Hebrew.
What
they want
strength
to make you a
is
Moor,
that?
They want to make you a Christian. They want to make you a Muslim. We don't have that. We believe in freedom of religion. We are about unity of the race. We see the African race as a family that we want to be cohesive. We play in the long game. And we are the only philosophy that has ever been pointed out by the white man as being a threat to his system. You ain't gonna.
When? How was the white man pointing out that was being knowing the fact that your so-called allegedly that your so-called African was a threat to the system? How? When they was telling you to go back to Africa. Oh, you believe that story? We didn't go back to Africa. They wanted you to leave so they could have America all for themselves. That wasn't the threat. The threat was our people were becoming the biggest capitalists of the society right after we was allegedly let go from slavery. Right after we were manumitted from slavery, we became the biggest capitalists of this society. That was the threat. We had our own businesses, just like you were saying. We had our own banks. We had all of this before. If he actually took time to look at his, at the American history, we had everything. The hospitals, everything. Top, bottom, mansions, you name it. Had it all. The biggest capitalists of this society. And those foreigners were jealous, coming over here with little to nothing. And what did Martin Luther King say? Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they receive the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize our farms. Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Listen to you see why I keep repeating that every single time, and I'm going to keep beating it in people's head? What Martin Luther King said? Because you know how, now when we come to Washington and this campaign, we're coming to get our check because it was more than reparations. Keep in mind, he didn't lead with the money part. He led with the what? The land. He led with the land. Because this land is ours. And if you look at those acts of Congress, he said through an act of Congress, if you look those up, you will start seeing the land allotments. You will start seeing what happened, how it was confiscated, land grabbing. I put all this information out, Umar, if you really want to learn. I worked my butt off for real. I didn't need a podcast and Breakfast Club and all the rest of that shit to tell the truth. And I declined Breakfast Club. I declined the Adam 22s. I declined all of that. I wasn't interested in getting popular. Because it wasn't about me. It was about my people. In a real way.
See no FBA on no documents. You ain't gonna see no ADOS on no documents. You ain't gonna see no Hebrew, no Moor, no Nawapi, and none of that. And
we're not gonna see no Pan-African on no document. Are you kidding me? What we see in them documents, y'all? I didn't put it up. Hold on, let me pull. Chad. Don't get me started. Chad, what we see on them documents? We saw Indian, Negro, colored. Spam the chat, y'all. I'm showing them chat. Spam the chat of what's on them documents. I'm not about to say anything. Just spam the chat. And look, and what's crazy is we were not considered African not one time by the census. Not one time. They had the opportunity to call us African as a classification of race inside of the, with the U.S. Census. Not one time did they take advantage of that. It was always Negro, Indian, colored, mulatto, Creole, now black. Black came a little bit before that, but I'm just saying. But now we agreeing to black. Now, yeah, Jesse Jackson gone. Right? But guess who taking Jesse Jackson's place? Say his name in the chat. Who's Jesse Jackson 2.0? You didn't even think about that way, did you? You didn't think about it that way, did you? Y'all wanted some music. I get the I ain't even thinking about music at this point. So Indian, colored, Negro, mulatto, Creole. You could throw in some Oriental in there. Some of our people agreed to being Oriental. Black. Nah, not no Pan-African, not no Hebrew, not no Moor. Not none of that. The way I look at all of you all are different religious ideologies. Not no FBA, not no ADOS. No. Y'all are different religious ideologies. Except for your backing has no merit. There is no gold at the goal line because you don't even have a goal to achieve. Double entendre. There is no gold at the gold line because you have no goal to achieve. The only thing y'all want is monetary gain for your own pockets. That ain't
I love
me.
them all. But what the white man said in his security memorandum was what? We cannot allow the black African and the black American to unite at all, culturally, economically, or politically. If they do, that would significantly undermine our global agenda.
Yeah, see, you looking at it from a global
Pan-Africanism
perspective.
is the threat, not this other crap. You don't care about none of that stuff.
Pan-Africanism is the threat.
You looking at it.
Pan-Africanism is the threat. Listen to him. That's what he said. Okay, if we go to TikTok as an example, anytime one of us want to mention that we are indigenous to this land and that we claiming our indigenous identity, are we threatening people or are we not? Now, if we go on TikTok and say that we African, black, African, black, right? Are we threatening? Are we threatening anybody? Read the comments. Nah, as soon as you go on TikTok and claim your indigenous heritage, the people who are threatened by reality are in the comments. They also creating videos about you, mocking you, making a mockery of you, right? Saying you ain't this and you ain't that. Why are you so worried about what we doing? We a threat to you. Yes, we're a threat to you because you are in our position. And once the majority of our people wake up and realize what happened, we're going to evict you. That's why we're the threat. If Pan-Africanism was such a threat, then why does it still exist today? If Pan-Africanism was such a threat, then why does it still exist today? They was trying to run us off of the internet. Am I right? Man, yeah, man, that's how they was doing us. As far as us content creators that was, teaching indigenous history, as far as the Americas are concerned, oh man, all sorts of censorship, right? All sorts of censorship. Muting our videos, cutting off our live streams, interrupting our live streams, not letting you see the video we just posted, trying to force you to back out and go back in, making it inconvenient for you. A whole bunch of shit. Take your subscribers away, take your likes away, make sure people can't comment. We going through a whole bunch. Am I lying? Year after year after year. Look. But Umar get to still go live on Instagram. Get to still go live on Instagram in front of his abandoned building. I need your donations, y'all. I need y'all to donate right now. Donate to my Cash App. Donate to my Cash App. Nah, because you with the enemy. And they bot farmed your comment section. Paid for it to make it look like you got a following, when really you don't. In real life, you ain't full of life. You full of greed. In real life, you ain't for our people. You for yourself. How do we know that? Ask him, is he taking care of his 3 baby mothers and 3 children? How are you opening up a school for boys when you can't even take care of your own children? His excuse, the baby mothers are not letting him see their 3 different baby mothers not letting you see your children? That sound like you got a problem. Dane, don't do. I got my children. They right here with me. What you talking about? If you say you're gonna be teaching children or teaching our men how to be men, by what example? You not even a real man. You a deadbeat dad. What type of information you about to teach them now? You better straighten up and fly right.
Doing none of that.
Pan-Africanism, our focus is the whole. We're the only philosophy in the world that is inclusive of everybody. Nobody else has that. They want to make you a Hebrew.
What
they
strength
make you a
is
Moor,
that?
They want to make you a Christian. They want to make you a Muslim. We don't have that. We believe in freedom of religion. We are about unity of the race. We see the African race as a family that we want to be cohesive. We play in the long game. And we are the only philosophy that has ever been pointed out by the white man as being a threat to his system. You ain't gonna see no FBA on no documents. You ain't gonna see no ADOS on no documents. You ain't gonna see no Hebrew, no Moor, no Nawapi, and none of that. And I love them all.
Notice he ain't say American Indian. He don't want no smoke, do he?
Toasty!
He don't want no smoke.
But what the white man said in his security memorandum was what? We cannot allow the black African and the black American to unite at all, culturally, economically, or politically. If they do, that would significantly undermine our global agenda.
Yeah, see, you looking at it from a global
Africanism
perspective.
is the threat, not this other crap. You don't care about none of that stuff. That's just smoke and mirrors.
You looking at it from a global perspective.
We don't care about none of that stuff?
Yeah.
We the only thing he worried.
Yeah, see, you looking at it from a global
Africanism
perspective.
is the threat, not this other crap. You don't care about none of that stuff. That's just
We don't
smoke and
care about
mirrors.
none of that stuff? Who was we? This is getting spooky. Let me go to Resident Evil 7.
From a global perspective. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We the only thing he worried about.
Right. Yeah. So, do you agree though that black Americans deserve reparations? And if so, who has to play?
Deserve reparations.
So for what happened in America?
Well, remember, slavery happened to the race. That's where we're going to, you see, that's where the disagreements come in. Because slavery didn't happen to black America. Slavery happened to Africans wherever they were taken. What they did to me here is no different.
So let me get this straight, dumbass!
Oh, hold on a second. Let me let him say that one more time.
Kids deserve reparations.
So for what happened in America?
Well, remember, slavery happened to the race. That's where we're going to, you see, that's where the disagreements come in. Because slavery didn't happen to black America. Slavery happened to Africans wherever they were taken.
Stop it. Get some help.
What they did to me here is no different than what they did to me in Costa Rica.
But America don't have to pay for that. We saying if America says we're giving reparations for what happened to black people in America, who does that go to?
I disagree. Let me clarify. There is no America until July 4th, 1776. But my ancestors got here under British North American slavery, not the Spanish. They were there first, right? But the Spanish don't control the United States of America, right? Anglo-Saxons do. America was born of the 13 British colonies, right? That was born July 4th, 1776, Loon. So under whose control and dominion were we from 1619 until 1776? The British. Am I wrong? Who Jamaica want reparations from? The British. Do you see where I'm going with this? Who Ghana want reparations from? The British. Who Nigeria want reparations from? The British. So for the American African, to your point, Loon, from 1776 until the present, that's the USA. But from 1619 to 1776, that's the British Empire.
See, and it's the same land.
He's wrong. He's loud and wrong. Damn. Now, honestly, This is spooky. This is spooky. He's really that ignorant to what happened here in America. And I mean, I just can't understand how people let that slide. Y'all got to get my book called It Was Told in Reverse. I break it down. I break down what happened. Even before the 1619 that he's referring to. You said somebody is obviously paying him? Oh yeah, it's written all over his face. He told y'all it was British from 1619 to 1776. And then it was the USA. Where did the British go? Nah, they got their independence from Great Britain. Oh, really? Okay, so we still have their justice system. We still have their supreme justices, court justices. We still have their esquires, the lawyers and attorneys. We still, wait a minute. We still got their laws. But that's not the British. I mean, we falling up under the Gregorian calendar. You celebrating Christmas. You celebrating New Year. What you mean? Man, there's so much that we got to go over with that part in order for him to understand. But that just goes to show you that he never took time to research what happened here in America. Not this brother here. He's asking good questions. I'm talking about this fool right here. But again, all he got to do is make it sound like he knows what he's talking about, and he's going to get away with it. Because our people don't be paying attention to detail. Like when Malcolm X was talking, they wasn't listening to Malcolm X for real. It was, yeah, that's right. That's right, brother. Go ahead, brother. And that's the same thing with Martin Luther King, right? Preach. Go ahead, pastor. So every time they not even finish, formulating a sentence. Yeah, the bar, British Accredited Registry. Yeah, it's so much. That's why I said it's a lot. For him to say a bold statement like that and believe that that's true says a lot within itself. That just goes to show you that he is ignorant to American history. It's going to take me a long ass time breaking down all the things that he's missing, that he's skipping, that he doesn't know about. Because if he does, that's even more reason. If he knows about it, that's even more reason why you shouldn't be saying that he's your leader. He don't know, Dane. I believe he's ignorant to it. He said from 1619 to 1776, and it stops right there. He says that America got its independence. Nah, it's just America now, Dane. Okay. Dane. Nah, we could look that up. ChatGPT said, or ask ChatGPT to give you a list of names of the soldiers that fought in that war That allegedly gave America its independence. Go ahead. Ask them. Ask to see ChatGPT. All ChatGPT is going to do is just look up things that's on the internet. Tell it to deep think, analyze the internet, and look for the list of names of the people that were fighting in that war. And they better give you more than 25. I'm gonna tell you right now, 25 soldiers ain't gonna be able to get that done. You talking about a landmass here. We talking about America. Imagine how long it take you to go from anywhere in California to Washington, D.C. without the use of a plane. We talking about America. They had to cover their asses on the East Coast as the British America. From everybody. I would love to see how they were able to do that. I'm talking about where the troops at that was at each port waiting for the enemy to show up. Nah, this is ours now. See, they got y'all thinking that the army was the way it is now. Back then, it ain't. Nah. The militia? Shoo, you kidding me? And they needed our help to win the 61 documented wars just in the 1800s alone? Are you kidding me? No, but Britain, no, they backed off, Dane. Prove it. Okay.
Who Jamaica want reparations from? The British. Do you see where I'm going with this? Who Ghana want reparations from? The British. Who Nigeria want reparations from? The British. So for the American African, to your point,
that's not true.
From 17.
Nigeria got colonized by the French. Okay. See, now I'm learning that I don't think he know nothing now. I'm leaning towards that now. I don't think he know.
1976 until the present, that's the USA. But from 1619 to 1776, that's the British Empire.
See, and it's the same land. You see, and that's why I think the conversation has to be had, because
I think the point you're leaving out, there's a self-hate aspect.
He didn't even put two and two together. Nigerians right now, their second language is French. They can come on tapio tu bien masi quick. The Jamaicans got hit by Asia. Also, by the way. All right, I'll leave it alone.
And I know
I ain't gonna leave it alone.
FBAs, they're not the pretendians. And I say that respectfully, because at least with the ADOS FBAs, they admit their ancestors came from Africa. They just are of the opinion that that don't matter no more. I don't know how you get there, because as the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, a people without knowledge of themselves is like a tree without roots. I would love to see an FBA history.
And and you didn't take his advice? Because a tree without roots don't exist. There's no such thing as a tree without the root. So if you don't know your roots, Umar, what'd that make you? Non-existent.
Book for their kids. I would love to see an ADOS FBA history book for children. If they ever build an ADOS,
What a Pan-African history book for the children? Where that's at? Wait a minute, show me. Is it on Amazon? I'll pull it up right now and order it. Where it's at? What a Pan-African history book at? Wait a minute. You talking about those school books? Well, hold on. You gotta elaborate on that, Umar. Nah, y'all, that's not an abandoned building. It's a school. It's a school. Dang, you got the book in video format on your channel. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, you said it's a shoebox. Look, he don't even know. I'm gonna tell you right now. And for him to be coming at FBA and ADOS is only because of jealousy. Like he knows that Yvette Carnell and Tariq Nasheed were able to capitalize off of people's ignorance even further by just claiming that they're Black American, but they are rooted in African, as far as being African descent. They at Pan-African 2.0. He's refusing to get in line with them. You know what's gonna happen?
FBA school. How are y'all going to treat identity in history? Because y'all cutting yourself off from your root and you identifying with a man who's trying to get rid of you. That's the weakness of the movement, Loon.
Wait, well, I don't understand. How are they cutting themselves off? I mean, I thought you said that the root was African. If ADOS and FBA are saying that they're following African descendants, then how are they cutting themselves off at the root? Ain't that the same root that you claim?
Who is that they're identifying with?
Say that again.
Who is that they are identifying with this
Americans.
Okay.
Right? Both of them call themselves Americans. Both groups. So they're identifying with the plantation.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yes.
But they cut themselves off from the ancestors. You see that?
No.
To me,
what are you talking about?
That is the greatest shortcoming of that movement. Ain't nobody taking me from my African roots. I don't give a damn what game y'all want to play, but
we do not care.
You ain't doing that. There's spiritual ramifications for that. There's political ramifications for that. There's economic ramifications for that. And let's go political, Loon. Only an idiot will cut themselves off from a meaningful relationship with other nations. You cannot survive in this world without allies. Do you understand me? Especially when you are a numerical minority. How did Cuba survive America? Being 90 miles off the coast, Loon? Because Cuba had Russia, an international ally. The American African people need Africans as allies. We need our Caribbean brothers and sisters as allies. We need our South and Central American brothers and sisters as allies, not enemies.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you fighting the white man who's an enemy, and I'm going to make an enemy out of all my Black brothers and sisters around the world? That is insane.
Yeah, I don't
And it's not.
Now, this is where he sprinkles in, hear me out. This is what he does. He says a lot of misinformation, then he'll sprinkle in a little bit of truth. Okay? That's what he does. That's what he's known for. A lot of misinformation, like to the point where he's ignorant of his, of American history in general, based off of me assessing this video alone, based off of what he said. And then he'll turn around and sprinkle in a little bit of truth. Like, for example, I agree that they need to stop separating themselves because it's, again, it's not all immigrants. It's not all immigrants. It's not all white people. It's not that. It's not that. It's really not. They're trying to pretend like it is. And it's not. Yes. Do we see them online doing that bullshit? Yes, we do. I'm not saying that we don't, but that is not the majority of them. It's not. It's just not. And, because not all people are the same. All people can think for themselves and do for themselves, at least to my understanding. At least I would hope to think that way, But again, a lot of people fall for the controlling mechanisms that come by way of these people like him who are distractors that are put in place to distract our people. Now, I've seen myself for a fact, the FBA literally, what Tariq does is hire actors and actresses to come up on his panel and just start arguments. Those are not real people. Those are not real people. But again, he's out there in California where the bot farms are. So it's going to, seem like these people are real, but they're not. They're paid actors and actresses. How is he afraid to debate me, but not afraid to debate complete strangers who he never met online and welcome them up on his panel? Dang, you never tried to join this panel. I tried to join this panel 3 times and people invited me. And that nigga sat there and saw me on that Twitter space and probably text whoever those hosts were and did not invite me up. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he brought up Top Cats one time. I'm not sure. But I'm not exactly sure, but I believe so. I'm not exactly sure what happened with that situation either. But that boy know of me. Okay? And he know better than that. And that's still to this very day. That's not me tooting my own horn. That's not me, that's not me being arrogant. It's not that. It's just me telling you, these people are, that's the word. Yeah, they're cowards. That's what they are. They don't want to face real heat because really they can't cook nothing in the kitchen. So they stay out of it. They only go where other people will accept them. It's just the way it is. But yeah, and like I said before, that Tariq Nasheed crap ain't gonna last long neither. It's a hashtag now, but it's gonna disappear just like Black Lives Matter. Because that's all it is. And guess who was getting paid behind Black Lives Matter? Look, not only was it just, orchestrated by, y'all know who, the white person, right? But it was being led by people that look like you and I. At least by way of skin complexion. Not necessarily saying that they're from this territory. And they made cash money. I'm talking about millions of dollars. They in mansions right now. Yeah, George Soros is the person I was talking about. I just wanted chat to say it before I said it. That way, hey, I'm reading chat. But yeah. They got paid an arm and a freaking leg and they ran off with those donations. And not one thing went back to the community. Yeah, the Rainbow Coalition did that same thing. Jesse Jackson did that exact same thing. Dane, don't talk about Jesse Jackson. Yeah, okay. What you got to stand on him with? He dead now. All right. He dead now. Yes, NAACP also. And they still around. And they got many locals in different states. And our people are still in poverty. But if you look up how much they're making, when they're a 501c3, they have to publicize their income. You can look that stuff up, guys, ladies. Look up how much NAACP makes a year and then come back and tell me, wait a minute, how come we don't have at least a third of that? And NAACP been around before Pan-Africanism. I mean, as far as being in the forefront. They've been around before the civil rights movement too. They've been getting and receive, just like how this nigga is. They've been receiving donations since day one. They even sent children out there. They had a youth department to go out there and let them beat their feet on that street and grab them donations. I'm talking about our people are still in poverty. And that's how long they've been getting money. Nope. They are only going to show themselves when one of our brothers or sisters are either harassed or killed by a police officer, as an example. By some racist cop. That's when they pop up. They go to civil rights lawyers, right? They go NAACP, gotta give a statement. Al Sharpton gonna step in, right? And what happens? And what happens? It won't ever fail. You said NAACP brings in $500 million a year. Oh, huh? $500 million a year? Okay. They make that a year. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's keep it pushing.
One-sided. I want to be clear, Loon. African immigrants are just as guilty of this sectionalism and division. I want to be very clear because I've seen the feed. People send them to me. It is. I'm not saying that ADOS FBAs are more liable for the racial divide. They're not. It's equal. Some of the stuff I've seen continental Africans say about American Africans is unacceptable. And some of the things I've seen us say about them is unacceptable. So I'm not giving one side more blame than the other. They're equally wrong.
Yes. And you know, I think when I look at it, when I look at all of the movements together, you know, I'm just concerned that we do have a lot of infighting. But with that being said,
that's okay because I'm bringing the solution to this. Since we're knocking on the door.
Wait a minute. He got a solution.
There needs to be a progressive American African movement that looks out for the best interests of the American African people, that does not demonize our brothers and sisters abroad, and that looks to build relationships with them as far as that can be done. So my movement to counteract the negativity of these movements we're discussing is going to be the DAFA movement. DAFA, descendants of African freedmen in America.
Stop. What the You can't be serious. His answer is to create another abbreviation. No way. Nah. This a dream. This a dream. Am I still in my bed? Hold on. Let me see if Tanisha will wake me up. Something wrong. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Nah. This ain't right. Is this reality? Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me pinch myself. What happened? Am I up now? I'm up, right? Okay, I'm up. I'm live streaming. My mic is on. Wait a minute. Let me hear this one more time. Let me hear it one more time.
With that being said,
that's okay because I'm bringing the solution to this. Since we're knocking on the door of FDMG being ready, there needs to be a progressive American.
Since he knocking on the door of FDMG being ready. You said that in 2026, 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. We could go all the way back to 2014. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. Man, if I was to ever do that and y'all don't hold me accountable, and I took millions of dollars of donations and the school is not open in a year, man, man. Y'all better, something wrong with y'all if y'all don't hold me accountable. Well, okay, let this fool,
African movement that looks out for the best interest of the American African people.
Oh, now you're gonna lie and say that you're gonna look out for the best interests. Well, his people he's saying American African. Notice how he ain't saying African American, he's saying American African. So he's trying to come up with his own terminology that doesn't exist. Africans who live in America have dual citizenship. And they're not even considered African American. They're considered white. Not black, white. On their nationality ID, it says whatever place in Africa they're from, and then America. Like, for example, Nigerian American. Not African American. Not black American. They're not even considered black by way of the US Census. When the enumerators go out to go to these particular communities where the so-called Africans live, I mean, the real ones, where they were literally coming from that continent, they're not writing them down as black as far as their classification of race. The social construct they get marked up under is white. Always has been. Since day one. That never changed. And while you making fun of that African because his underarm stinking while you took that Uber ride, or you took that Lyft, and he up in there jamming and everything, and they don't believe in, wearing deodorant, and you mad because you gotta roll your window down and that nigga had the nerve to lock the windows? You don't understand his culture, but he don't understand yours neither? He got a different credit score than you. While you in the back of his Uber with a 650 credit score, he working towards hitting 780, 790. And he just got here in America last week. Damn, and he got his license that fast? That he got his commercial license that quick. And look, and based off of what I just played the other day, they even take that class that they gotta take to get the commercial license. They put it in his own language, in his native tongue. He ain't even gotta know English. These foreigners coming over here with jobs now, and y'all know it, and they barely speak English. How they get the job? And they got more benefits than you do. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? You know I ain't lying. Yeah, what we said the last time. The truck drivers, see, they getting the CDL quick. They taking the CDL test in their own language. Nah, you don't even gotta learn English. We need you on them trucks. Meanwhile, our people wondering why they can't get the job. Because they handing it to foreigners that's coming over here. But, I understand, a lot of our people want us to unify with other people. I get that, but could we take care of our people first? I mean, other people taking care of their own people. Don't the Africans come over here and make their money and send it back to their countries out there in Africa to take care of their people? Wait, stop the music. Why can't we do the same? Why are we not doing the same? Why are we not getting this money and giving it back to our own people? And I don't mean by blackity black, black, black. I'm not talking about that. It starts with your own individual family. We need to be uplifting our families. We got to get our people back in position to win. When the last time you seen brothers build a house? I'm talking about from the ground up. They started the foundation on up. When the last time you seen a group of brothers build a house? Come on now. Who we go get? The Latinos. And they do an amazing job. Where our brothers at? Man, that's just one aspect of it. We're not in control of the trade anymore. That's why we lost a grip on the economy. We're not in control of the trade anymore. That's why we lost a grip on the economy. Come on now. They disenfranchised our people. Took everything away from us and handed it to foreigners. Quote, and telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps, end quote. So if we got to get it out the mud, that don't mean that we got to sell cocaine and, all the rest of that on the street, just sell drugs to our people and make things even worse. We did that already. What was the outcome of that? The majority of our brothers was getting killed on the street, for whatever reason, by way of the drug game or whatever, group that they represent, red, blue, whatever, right? And then either that or they being thrown in jail, right? All of this over some drugs, right? But prior to that, what did we have? Before the drug epidemic came through, what did we have? We had everything we ever needed. We had our communities, literally. We owned every store on every corner. We ran our own trains, our own buses, our own cabs, schools, hospitals, churches, laundromats, or cleaners, the cleaners. Remember them boys, they used to be outside shining the shoes. That was us. Them white folks wasn't worried about shining their shoes, that was us. We wanted to be the freshest of the fresh. We always do. It's in our nature. We always want to bling bling. Pinky ring worth about 50 bling bling. That's true though. From the gold around our neck, the gold around our wrist, the gold in our teeth. And if you go back and start looking at the statues, you're going historical. You're going to notice they was wearing gold teeth back then and jewelry. Yeah, barber shops, that's right. We had all that back then. Endless pictures exist of that in every state. We had it all. But now it's people like him that want you to believe that we didn't have nothing. Like we hopeless. We wasn't able to take care of ourselves. We needed the white man to help us. I noticed that he never quote Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, Should I do it to him? Okay, I'll say this one. Malcolm X said, anytime you rely upon your enemy, you're in bad shape. Anytime you rely upon your enemy, you're in bad shape. That's a quote. If we don't own anything, who we relying upon? The owners. If we don't own anything, who are we relying upon? The owners. All right.
That does not demonize our brothers and sisters abroad, and that looks to build relationships with them as far as that can be done. So my movement to counteract the negativity of these movements we're discussing is going to be the DAFA movement. D-A-F-A, descendants of African freedmen in America. Remember, Loom, after freedom came, we were known as what? Freedmen. That was a legal classification. We were the freedmen. My 3 times great-grandfather George fought in the Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War.
Whoa. You still lying about the Frederick Douglass stuff? Wait a minute, y'all. Let me show y'all something real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I could grab that real quick. He's still saying that? I thought. I didn't know he was still saying that. Now that's crazy. All right, hold on. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick.
So a Black American.
Hold on, not that one. Okay. Let me see. Let me show y'all this one. Wow. It's crazy. He really still consider himself a descendant of Frederick Douglass. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got the right one. Because they came out. Hold on, let me show y'all something. Hold up. Wait, it's not that one. Okay, here you go. All right. I mean, they mention it here, but I want you to see the actual statement. Is this it? Yeah, here you go. This is it. I got it. Let me pull it up on y'all side. Okay. Let me make this a lot larger for you guys. To whom it may concern, the family of Frederick Douglass have received numerous inquiries about Umar Johnson questioning his relationship to Frederick Douglass. There have also been questions about the legitimacy of his PhD and handling of the donations he received for a school he is promoting. We can tell you with 100% certainty that he is not a descendant of Frederick Douglass. With that being said, Mr. Johnson is very careful not to bill himself as a descendant. Well, not anymore. But he doesn't correct people when they refer to him in this way. He calls himself a blood relative. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see if he's still doing that. Let me play that one more time.
After freedom came, we were known as what? Freedmen. That was a legal classification. We were the freedmen. My 3 times great-grandfather George fought in the Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought.
Your cousins, Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass. Wait, where's the statement on y'all guys? Okay, hold on, right here. Blood relative. We have researched his explanation of being a blood relative to the great abolitionist. Some of the information he provides is accurate, but an extremely important piece of his explanation with regard to a documented relative of Frederick Douglass is false. The information he recites correctly is from the public record, so his knowledge of our family ancestry is far from definitive proof. The official Douglass family tree is held in the archives at the Frederick Douglass National Historic Site in Washington, D.C. Mr. Johnson's name is not on it. Sincerely, Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives. That was done in 2016. Got that oil joint right there. Oh, it says it right here. April 18, 2016. And he's still claiming. I believe he's still claiming that he's blood relative. Let me double check something real quick before we move on. I got a feeling he's still doing it. Look, y'all. About to show y'all right now. Okay. So this is his website. This is his official website. Okay. So y'all won't think I'm bullshitting. Click on About. Can y'all see this? Hold on, let me zoom in. Dr. Umar, as he is known to his friends, is a paternal kinsman to both the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass. Stop right there. Paternal kinsman. That's when they're claiming that they're related through like a male descendant of the family. Mainly, he's saying that that's on his father's side. In other words, that's misinformation. So if he would lie about something so simple like that, okay, let's continue.
In the Civil War, I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought to keep this country from being divided, and we have rights as freedmen, so we're fighting as descendants of African.
Stop. The freedmen was fighting to keep this country. Whoa. What? No, he did not fix his mouth to say that.
Classification. Wait. We were the freedmen. My 3 times great-grandfather George fought in the Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War. I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought to keep this country from being divided. And we have rights as freedmen, so we're fighting as this.
Who fought? Let me hear that one more time, right here.
The Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War. I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought to keep this country from being divided.
He's saying that freedmen who fought to keep this country undivided. Would y'all classify that as as he misspoke? What would y'all do, chat? What would y'all do? The only part that was right was the fact that freedman was a real classification. Especially after the Civil War. It was after the Civil War. Why are you saying rest in peace, Samuel L. Jackson? Is that? I hope you're not. I don't. That's a troll. That's a troll, right? They trolling? I don't see any news of that. They trolling. Why would you say something like that? Wait, hold on. Ban this person. Hold on. Let me go back up. Who said that? Let me do it. Hold on. Let me ban this person. The hell is your problem? Don't say no stupid shit like that. People are so disrespectful. Yeah, I mean, how the hell? Like, come on, bro. I think that was, I mean, again, they probably got paid trolls and like you see what I'm saying? They got the little bots. You know how they do. They got their little bots and they come up in here and troll, right? They in the chat. Yeah, nah. They tripping. Okay. Yeah, come on, bruh. Don't play like that.
Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War. I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought to keep this country from being divided. And we have rights as freedmen, so we're fighting as descendants of African, not no American. You ain't never putting that no title, no organization of mine. Descendants of African freedmen.
Now he telling his agenda. He telling his agenda again.
In America.
Freedmen in America. But don't put the title of America on your, what, why? That would have been my follow-up. Why? We built this country. Just because that flag ain't ours, but I bet you that flag that they was throwing up in the South and during the Civil War was ours. You could keep that red, white, and blue one. The one that they want to call the rebel flag was ours. Had he did his history, or research on American history, he would know that. Okay.
I like that. Do you think you gonna get pushback for even launching that?
Brother, don't stop, bruh. Stop, bruh. You can't be real. You like what? What are you talking about? Stop, bruh. I believe that brother felt sorry for Umar. You know what, Umar? I like that. I like the fact that you have an idea and it wasn't even your own idea. You said that the solution is that you're going to copycat
what everybody else is doing. Monkey see, monkey do. I like that. Man, come on, man. I believe that brother ain't, he just trying to respect his guests. That's all. Ain't nowhere in the world he like that for real.
It don't matter. I'm stronger than both of them groups put together.
Okay.
You
okay.
strong? You stronger than both of what groups put together? Than ADOS and FBA? I mean FD. What are they called? You are stronger than them? What are you talking about? As far as their presence on social media? Bro, our people have been claiming that they're indigenous to this land before Pan-Africanism, before ADOS and FBA has even been thought of. We didn't got the news to say it. We didn't got politicians to say it. This ain't nothing new to us. We didn't got actors and actresses to say it. Not the fact that we're pushing them to say it and paying them to say it. They outright came out and said who they are. We got rappers out there claiming who they are. Come on now. Even the legends in rap. You don't hear them coming out their mouth. Yeah, I'm FBA. You don't hear them saying that. Yeah, we ADOS. You literally want to lower yourself down to now. Nah. Forget the misclassification. Now I want you to refer to us as an abbreviation. No. Who else is referring to themselves as abbreviations? Are the Chinese? How about the Japanese? What about the Philippines? What about name them? Name them. Who is being going by an abbreviation? Silly. Furthering the damage. Y'all done already dug that whole 6 feet. Now you going even deeper. You done added 6 more feet. That's why I don't believe none of them clowns. I don't trust none of them.
I do believe that reparations, the debt is lineage specific. So I don't want to remove the point. Like I like how you put it, right? That before America was America, there were the same behavior. Yeah. So, but I think the British should pay for that.
Yes.
Or did you say what the funds transferred
part
to?
Of your reparations is coming from who? The British. And if we go 1619, right, to 1719, that's 100 years. And then 1719 to 1776, that's like almost 60. So 160 years of your 250. Guess what? Most of your time in American slavery was under the British, not the Americans. Did you see that?
Yeah.
We just did the math. Yeah. Most of your time enslaved in America was under the British. Is it not common sense, Loon, to unite with my African brothers and sisters in Ghana, in Malawi, in Nigeria, in Jamaica, in other places around the British Empire who are fighting for the same thing when we are all kith and kin anyway? Does it make sense for me to be at odds with a Jamaican who may very well be my blood cousin? Does it make sense for me to be at odds with a Nigerian who might very well be my blood uncle? Loon, we are fighting with people who may very well be from your same ancestral line. That is ridiculous. And we don't fight white.
But the key word is may. The only way you're gonna know that is if you do your own genealogy on your own family. Genealogy is key. Shout out to Wanagi. He has never thought to himself to actually do or conduct genealogy research on his family. Nah. He's not interested in that. He's literally not interested in knowing who he actually is. Plenty of people have done his genealogy, including myself. And we know that he Cuban. So, look, let Tariq say it. Tariq will probably call him a tether. If he hasn't already.
people half as much as we fight each other. And that goes for us and the African side.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in both sides, bro.
Yeah.
For me, there's only one tribe, and that's the Pan-Africanist tribe. You are either for all Africans or you are for no African.
That's
But see, the reason I have to come forward with the Dafa movement is many American Africans who agree with some of what they're hearing, but don't want to be part of the conflict and the division. But they say, I either
because it's a lot of that.
I got to go FBA.
Yeah.
Both of them antagonize African immigrants. I don't want the antagonism, but I do understand the need for us because we have a unique history that nobody else has.
All right, so get behind a well-known grifter scammer and he's gonna make it better. One promise after the next that you can't keep, right? You told the people ever since 2014 that you were gonna open up a school for boys and teach them Pan-Africanism. You have never conducted a class on Pan-Africanism yourself. Who are you? Nobody. And you're doing the exact same thing FBA and ADOS is doing. Causing division amongst our people and distracting our people away from the truth. I'm glad people like this fool here is getting out the way. I'm glad our people are coming to this census. I'm glad our people are claiming who they really are and not allowing complete strangers to tell us who we are. I'm so thankful that this is happening. Our people are tired of being sick and tired. I know y'all heard that before. State her name. What's her name? We're tired of being sick and tired. They used her too, by the way, politically. When she was down there in Mississippi in them fields, and the people that was utilizing her was what? Nowhere near to be found. Yep, Fannie Lou Hamer. I'm so proud of y'all. Now, I was Fannie Lou Hamer, and I'm proud of y'all. I'm so thankful y'all was paying attention and learning. That's what I'm here. Oh man, that's what I'm here for. No, that was Fannie Lou Hamer. I quoted her directly. That's still on video. I love her. Fannie Lou Hamer was the truth. And they were trying to use her, and they did. They did. Yeah, she was Mississippi through and through here. They used her, you know, for political reasons, for political purpose. And did she get anything out of that? Absolutely not. But she did expose the NAACP. She said the NAACP was the National Association for the Advancement of Certain People. She exposed them. And she was right. Yeah, man. I'm going to end it on a positive note. Because I see that he pissing a lot of y'all off, but don't let him get to you. He's a nobody. He's not a threat. If he was, his mouth wouldn't be moving. He wouldn't be popping up on what y'all see. The program that they want to hand to our people. If he was a threat, they would have been got rid of him. He's only one person. He just now creating his army? And naming it, what did he say? FADA? Because FBA is fake black activists. FADA? What's that abbreviation? Dane show him sniffing his nose.
I will not.
You know how we gotta do it 3 times, right?
I will not be debating Dane Calloway. Calloway.
Yeah. We gonna leave it on that note. So I'm gonna come back to you all 27th. I'm gonna be live streaming on the 27th. I'm not exactly sure what time, but it's gonna be on a different note. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm playing Resident Evil. Just like how I'm playing Resident Evil music right now. I'm playing that video game. The new video game came out and I wanna play it, you know, in honor of my channel because I've been utilizing Resident Evil music ever since its inception for 10 years. And now they finally coming out with a brand new, and I think it's only right that I pay homage. You know what I mean? And it was getting people educated. Some of them was scared at one point. Don't forget, look, they were scared at certain points, but they sure was listening. And in 1847, and boom, boom, right in the background. Oh, I'm playing Resident Evil right now, right? The save music, right? And then I'm educating you with all that, letting you know this is the safe room right here until it get deep. And then I'm playing different. Shout out to Capcom. So it's only right. It's only right that I pay homage to him, and that's gonna be on the 27th. You know, I'm gonna do it that way. Absolutely. So I'm gonna see y'all then. Dane, why you not going live tomorrow? I may go live tomorrow. We'll see, because it depends on what time I gotta handle some things. But if I get back up in here and I'm tired, I may not go live. But if I do go live tomorrow, y'all see me. It'll probably be around like 8 or 9 or something like that if I do go live. You like the music on Resident Evil is so creepy. I mean, not all of it is creepy, but it do give you a sign of relief when you get inside of the save room and then the music be chilling. You be like, man, cause outside that door. But yeah, so y'all want to stick with me about that tomorrow. We're gonna be doing that. I mean, not tomorrow, on the 27th. He's just Cuban. Nah, he got American in him. He not just Cuban. He got some American in him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Mississippi. Absolutely. Shout out to all of y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming out. And I want to, matter of fact, now that I had that open, let me double check to make sure, because I done missed a couple of things. Let me get my shout outs right now. Oh man. And I apologize. Okay. Shout out to, wait, who is this? Why is it abbreviated? Oh, because I got this on. Hold on, here we go. All right, there you go. All right, shout out to Just One Right. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. You said that you used to be Pan Goofy too. Thanks for everything, Dane. Absolutely. Nah, don't get it twisted. I know for a fact that a lot of people subscribe to that ideology because it was popular at one point. But yeah, once people do genealogy, it's over with. You know, I'm not saying that you join in a cult or anything like that. You're more subscribed. You are doing yourself and your ancestors the just due by subscribing to the truth. So I'm not gonna hold that against you. Tojo Copper Tone Chief, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. You said you was just reading about this today. It was told in reverse. Yeah, the immigrants and immigrants. Yes, I put that aside of that book. Absolutely. I put that aside of that book. Raz been a member for 57 months in a row. Woo, 57 months in a row. You said peace to the live stream. Keep cooking them, Dane. I appreciate that. And then you followed up with a super chat. I appreciate that. You said Pan-Africanism was one-sided. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also they really didn't want to, you know, subscribe to nothing else. They didn't want to go any further in their research. You know, once we started exposing their master teachers, that was it. That was it for Pan-Africanism, though. There's no reviving that. It's dead. Legs, thank you for the super chat. You said Legs the Great, Seminole, OCO Chief, Turtle Island, spam up. I love you all. We love you too, family. I appreciate that. And shout out to Mathematically Jazz with the 5 gifted. I appreciate that, Jazz. Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate that. Dakota, Dakota in the building. Shout out to the super chat. Dakota gave, you said, do you have audio books for the visually impaired? Coming, but give me a sec. I'm gonna need a couple months to get that done because I'm probably gonna need 2 weeks just to record that. Like, for example, my most recent book is almost 400 pages long. And it's still #1 on Amazon, by the way. Y'all definitely should get that. It's called The Quiet. Made that thing #1, man. I appreciate that. Y'all done made that thing #1, and it's still #1. But definitely get that brand new book, y'all. It's on Amazon, and it's also in stores everywhere books are sold. If you want the ebook version, please go to the website DaneMakeYouThink.com. If you want the ebook version, it's exclusively on my website at DaneMakeYouThink.com. But if you want the physical copies, you could go to Amazon or anywhere else books are sold. 8642 MCD, thank you for the super chat. You said you classified this live stream as a case study on the blind leading the blind or the blind teaching the blind. I mean, it depends on what you're referring to. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to because I ain't blind. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's what the glasses are for. But if you're referring to them as far as, you know, Pan-Africanism and the FBA and the ADOS or something like that, have at it. Have at it. Faith is all we need. Been a member for 25 months in a row. I appreciate that. She said, much love, Mr. Calloway. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Much love to you too. LC Cunningham, thank you for the super chat. Y'all, so I'm gonna see y'all on, what day is that? That's tomorrow, technically, depending on, you know, who it is. Oh, so that's Friday, so that's perfect. It's coming out on a Friday. I ain't even looking to that. All right, so it's coming out. Jump inside of the community server, Flatbush, man. That could easily be, you know, we could guide you through that. Just join the community server. Right there where it says join the 13%, click that link where it says join the 13% where like-minded people reside. But shout out to the 13% community server. I appreciate that. And shout out to all the admins and the moderators that's in the chat doing that thing and been doing that thing and holding me down, man. I really appreciate that. I love y'all to death. Y'all know that. Shout out to I'm talking about them snipers. You hear me? Shout out to y'all. Hope y'all doing well too. Big old hugs and firm handshakes. Roomy Feb, thank you for being a member for 59 months of the road. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna see y'all Friday. Because I know somebody on the West Coast be like, dang, it's early. But I know East Coast probably gotta go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? People in the mid, you know, they gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm like, hold on, I ain't trying to be too long. Nah, but I'm gonna see y'all on Friday for sure. Y'all take care. What up?
OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you
He's
think.
here to make you think.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think,
It's Dane Calloway.